Hi there, Malcolm here with my 217th BookTube video, and today I'll be bringing you a review of the book The Thing, a movie novelisation by Alan Dean Foster. Now first, confession time, I have not actually seen The Thing. And despite having access to 3 separate streaming services, I still haven't watched The Thing because it's not on any of them. I'm sorry, I'm not renting or buying something I don't have a physical copy of. Wasn't even on YouTube. Best I could do was watch a reaction video to The Thing by, I think it's the Media Knights. I'll leave a link to them below. Go check out their channel. They're really good film reviewers. They're doing a bridge to watch along to various films they've never seen before, do live reactions, and then have a really interesting discussion about the film they just watched at the end. I do recommend their channel. I'll leave a link to that below. Do go check them out. Anyway, you're on my channel now, so listen to me, damn it. If you haven't seen The Thing and you're not comfortable watching something like this because you've heard and you know certain aspects about it, go and look up Pingu versus The Thing, or The Thing according to Pingu, which does a really good summary of the events of the story without it getting too grim and grisly. Anyway, back to my own channel. But essentially, there's a research post in the Antarctic who get visited by a shape-changing alien who starts picking them off one by one. Now, so a classic base under siege. Can you trust anybody to be who they claim to be? Who's human, who's an alien sort of story. And it's a tale that has influenced many pop culture stories hence, and is in turn badly influenced by Quatermass, something I didn't know anything about apparently. And in essence, this was a pretty solid story of that theme. Released in 1982, it kind of precludes most of the subsequent stories of that type, like I say, except for Quatermass and perhaps some Doctor Who stuff as well. But I felt it did a really good job with it. A little bit slow at places, and certainly for today's audience, I think the big complaint is it is very male-centric. There isn't a female character in here. I think a couple of the Huskies might have been, but that's not really going to count, is it? But I did have a little bit of trouble disseminating the different characters. We got 12 beardy men, and then one of them's bumped off by the alien. It's like, well, which one was that? There wasn't really enough differentiation between the different characters to really help determine who's who. MacReady is the main character, played by Kurt Russell in the film, so that did help a little bit to know who he was, but I didn't really know any of the other actors in it. I'll tell you, like, Keith David is also one of the characters. He plays the character of Childs. But yeah, really good story of Base Under Siege and Who's Who sort of thing. Now, the reason I do like reading novelisations particularly is because the author can certainly put more onto the page in terms of a person's thoughts, feelings, motivations than an actor can perhaps portray on screen. No reflection on the actor, it's just can only tell you so much, whereas a few paragraphs can actually break down a little bit more in detail. And the other fun thing is that novelisations are generally based off a version of the script while the film is in production, meaning that when the book is finished, the film might, and quite often does, have a lot of changes put into it. You know, things are cut out, things are rewritten, or extra bits are put in, meaning that you have 2 subtly different stories at the end of the day. And again, I can only go by what I managed to research on Wikipedia and by watching the watch-along, where the big changes lie. And certainly certain characters die at different moments for different reasons. And in the book there's a big thing about chasing the escaped Huskies to make sure that they don't spread the alien contagion further, and one of the characters dies doing that. None of that happens in the book. The character dies through a different reason. And the famous scene that we've all probably seen on Watch Mojo's Most Horrific Things Ever Seen, where the guy's having a heart attack and the doctor attaches the defibrillator only to have his hands bitten off by the guy's chest. That sequence of events happens very differently as well in the book. There are certain similarities, and that indeed does happen, but things then go on differently from that point. And then the final encounter, again, beat for beat, it's not quite the same. The end result is, but I gather from the film that the final fate of certain individuals are left ambiguous, but they're not in the book. They are very expressly described what happens to such and such at certain moments. And the ending, it's a very similar ending in both respects, but in the book the survivors are playing chess, which we saw MacReady playing at the beginning of the book and the film to give us a full circle, you know, chess coming in, chess going out, but on the film I think we don't get any chess. And that's assuming they are survivors. In both cases it is an open-ended ending. But yeah, a lot of fun. I flew through this quite happily. It's definitely worth buying. I think having seen the visuals from the film does help with certain scenes just really expand upon what's been described, because again this was based off of a script, whereas what happened in the film was a fantastic special effects department just going nuts really. And of course Alan Dean Foster didn't have the amazing animations that they did with the transformations of the creature to work with. He only had what was written on his notes, and so we have two quite different interpretations of how the creature changed and what it looked like. I think having seen the film might help with the visualizations of the creature's transformations in the book. Unless you don't like that sort of squeamish stuff, in which case just read the book and you can leave those yucky details to those who enjoy that sort of thing. So that was The Thing. Have you read it? Have you seen it? Is there a particular novelisation that you think did a really good job of capturing what the film was trying to say, or one that really sucked? Always interesting to know. Comments down below, please. But as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and other YouTubey things if you feel like it. And until next time, see you later.